Good morning, ladies. What we're doing today is the first in a series of workshops designed to help you guys in your workplace. You've both just been recruited by newspaper, and one of the first tasks that they want you to do is to develop a series of photographs for some articles that they're doing on insect management. And obviously you both have a basic background in photography. You both told me that you've done a little bit of photography, but you've got a heap of tools in the cupboard that you're actually not quite so sure how to use. So what we're going to do this morning, initially this was to be done in the field, but with all good field work, weather has a little bit to do with it. So this is Insect Photography Mark II inside, which it doesn't really matter where we are. I just brought the plants inside so that we can work inside. And then, so what we need to do is work through some of the basic settings on the camera, how you go about finding those settings, how you go about using those settings, and then a little bit of work on the different tools that are available and how you actually use those tools. So there's a little bit of theory in the booklets, which I don't expect you to read through during the course of this presentation. It's just there for you to go back through later on. And off we go. So what we need to do is look at the different functions of a camera and how they actually work. So the first task and the first piece of information is understanding the three factors that influence taking a photograph. So the three factors are your aperture, your shutter speed and your ISO. And there are three things that you can manually set on your camera. Sometimes you want to set one of them, sometimes you want to set all of them. What we're going to do is work through a grid where you set all three of those settings and check out the influence and see what happens when you do different settings in different situations. The second task we're going to work through is the tools we've got. We have a teleconverter, we have a close-up lens, we have extension tubes, and we've got a couple of different types of lenses that you could be using in different scenarios. So a similar sort of situation, we'll work through a grid system where you try different things and then compare the photographs at the end. And then the third task that we're going to work through is actually letting you loose in the paddock, assuming this weather clears. If not, it's something that we'll do in our next session. And we go through and we get the photographs that we're looking for, and we actually go through a loosened paddock and photograph the insects that we find within the paddock, and end up with a series of photographs, probably 10, 12 photos of a quality that's good enough to use for your first photographic assignment for work. So I expect that today's session will probably take about 2 hours to work through the tools and the grids, and it could take another 2 hours to go and do the field work. So because we're going to be here for 4 hours, we'll have a break after the first session, a break after the second, and then we'll go and do the 2 hours in the field at once. Your bathrooms are up the back of the hallway here. If we have any emergencies that we need to deal with, the meeting place is out at the shed. Tea, coffee is in the kitchen. Feel free to help yourselves during the breaks, but I would prefer you didn't have tea and coffee here during our sessions due to the risk of spilling liquids on very expensive equipment. Okay, so what we're going to do is actually start on the theory session. So we go back to the theory in the book. So, any questions as to what we're going to do in our time frames? No? We both allocated a day for this, so and you've been paid to be here anyway, so that's fine. Okay, so our first setting that we need to look at is ISO. Do either of you have any idea of what ISO actually does with your cameras? No? Okay. So the way you need to look at it is your ISO is how sensitive your camera is to light. So you have some people are very strongly affected by bright lights and other people it doesn't worry them. Think of that as your ISO setting on your camera. So if your ISO setting is at 100, which is the lowest ISO setting, it means that your camera is not particularly sensitive to light. So it needs a lot more time and a lot more light to take a photograph. If your ISO is quite high, you're very sensitive to light, and very small amounts of light are what you need to make an image. So typically, when you're using films, your ISOs would have been 100 for films that are objects are standing still, through to about 400 was what used to be used for sports photography. Okay, with digital cameras, so these cameras here, we've got a Nikon 7100 and a Nikon 7200, their ISO speeds go up to 25,000. So they can be exceptionally sensitive to light, so you can take photographs in quite dark conditions. Displays, an ISO of 1000 is probably not the way to go. If you're only looking for online digital just to genuinely show somebody something, 1000, 2000, 6000 is not a problem. Because you're looking at doing stuff for print publications, you probably don't want your ISOs more than about 500. But the thing goes with that is you're better off to get the photo and have it grainy than not get the photo. So sometimes you've actually got to make the call between not getting a photo and actually getting a photo that's too grainy. That makes sense? Okay. So, looking at the first camera here. So we turn it on. I'm assuming you're both reasonably familiar with turning them on and setting an automatic set. So on these cameras, the auto is the green, and that's where we're going to look to start with. You just let the camera do its own stuff to start with. So to find out what this camera thinks it's set on, you should press info, which is this one here, the button there, and it tells me that the ISO is actually set on 100. So go.
I can't remember how to change the F.
Okay, so the F, the front, whoops, info, yeah, the dial here on the front, it's this one on. There's a dial like this.
Yeah.
Oops, you do it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so F5. Yep, that'll work. Yep. And you've got the seconds right, 1/10?
That's what it says.
Yep, okay, so again, so make sure you're standing reasonably close, let the autofocus do its stuff. Give the browser one.
Oh well.
Okay, so you're holding the autofocus in. So this one. You listen to it too.
Yeah, it's clicking.
It's clicking. Yeah, so what? That's very dark. Okay, so that's a bit of a problem, isn't it? Based on that, I don't think there's any point taking these others. You've actually got to put it so dark it's an unusable photograph, isn't it? Yep, okay. So now what we're going to do, so that'll be part of the discussion that comes in later on when you put them into computing. So, okay, we've got to this point. There's actually no point taking any more because it was just too dark.
Yep.
So we're back on. Info. Yeah. So you work your way through that. I'm going to go and find a ladder.
Okay.
And I reckon by the time I found a ladder, you'll have that bit done.
Okay.
is that these ones weren't working.
Yep.
And where did they actually start to give you some decent photos?
About here.
Okay, so what we might do then is you think it's worth trying to go to an ISO of 2000 because it's significantly more light with these same settings, and see if you get a much better pattern of pictures, and then we'll just discard this off the grid.
Okay.
Because that's what you actually do in the field, isn't it? You think, oh shit, that's not working.
Yeah.
I'll change something. So that's what we'll do, is we'll change the ISO to 2000, or you'll change the ISO to 2000, and then just do the next section of the grid, and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so that's not bad, is it?
It's so cute.
Getting better.
Okay.
Okay, so I get the 5. Okay, so we learn lots of things from our children that we're teaching. Okay, so what does this tell you? Like, you've got this photo here that's beautifully clear. It's got an f6, f5.6, you've got 125th of a second, your ISO is 100, so it's a beautiful clear photo. What does it tell you about photographing in the field?
You need a lot of light.
You need a lot of light. Yeah, so you've got to have a flash unless you've got really good light. And so you compare it to the other photos. So we go back to what we've got here. The best photo that we took without a flash would probably be that. No, it's not that one. Would be that one, wouldn't it? Okay, so that's the best one we'd have taken without the flash. Okay, so it's an f5, 125th, 1250th of a second, but the ISO of 1600, it's just not good enough quality for what we're trying to do, is it? No. So it really says that we must